Just wanted to say, as a note, reacting to my username is some of the dumbest takes that I have to deal with on a constant basis. You know, I remember not too long ago I was running around with my one of my other accounts, which was Day in a World Without Walls. And I was left, and not Dave, but Day. DAE. But I had to lady, just came in and reacted to it. Like, are you kidding? That would be terrible. That would be awful. No privacy, all this other stuff. And I was just like sitting there, like, well, she blocked me before I could even reply. But it was just like, it was figured if you dumb, unimaginative hick. You know, you know, that's all I can think. Like, and people reacting to, my username, Kythra Suntamer, like, I bet you don't barely even see the sun. Man, I get up in the mornings these days, like, it's 3 a.m. at this point. I make it a point to go outside so that I get some of that vitamin D, and also to sync my biorhythm, or whatever, my circadian clock up with the sun. I make it a point to go outside once it comes up in the morning. Like, I get exposure to it. I go outside and people already advising me to touch grass. Man, I already touch grass, motherfucker. I don't know what you're like. Sorry, doesn't really matter. That my takes are apparently not grounded enough for your ass. Or don't resemble normal people's as much. But so I already am touching grass. I don't need your advice. But this username, Kythra Suntamer. It's a total, like, I am a fantasy novel fan. I read fantasy books. I like the fantasy genre. I have been a fan of it for a long time, and plus um, I have I've been reading 86 of late and everything, and this name that I created, it was a fantasy name from the very beginning. It was never supposed to be taken as an allegory to anything in the real world or about the real world at all. It is purely imaginative, and a product entirely of my own design that has been my own design for years and years and years. It was all tied up in a story that I wanted to write but never really did because it was too much fucking work involved, and I'm not even that good of a writer when it comes to fiction. I do poetry, but I'm not great at fiction.